Hey everybody, how's it going? The Johnny Cage here, welcoming you back for a brand new LP. This time around we're playing the Simpsons arcade game made by Konami, who also made the X-Men arcade game and the Ninja Turtles arcade game. Great time for arcades in the early 90s, definitely, and this is gotta be by far the greatest Simpsons game ever made. I really wish they'd come out with something along these same lines, and this is nothing more than just a beat 'em up, but it did such a good job of including so many characters and little references from the show that it just did an amazing job at capturing the spirit of what is The Simpsons. So one thing before we get into this that I want to mention is kind of an update on my channel, and that is that, oh, by the way, I'm playing as Marge, because the control configuration is laid out that way for you to just play as Marge. And, she's got a long-range vacuum cleaner, so you can't really complain about that. It's the longest-range weapon in the game, and as you saw with my Ninja Turtles LP, if you watched that, I prefer the guys with the long-range weapons. What can I say? But anyhow, some of you may have been expecting Battletoads today. And the reason why you are not watching Battletoads right now is for a couple of reasons. One of which is that I play these games on an emulator, as you all know, I've said that many a time, and I was playing Battletoads, and first of all, Battletoads is a very, very hard game. It's really hard. It took me a few weeks to beat it on the NES, in its original condition in which it's supposed to be played. And then playing it on an emulator without an NES controller, that adds to the difficulty of it. And then further, I'm using Hypercam to record, and when you're recording using Hypercam, and probably with a number of other, desktop recording type softwares, you have to, it kind of like lags down. It renders the frame rate to where it would be if you were like watching it back. So you don't actually play it at the normal speed. It plays at the rate at which it's being recorded, which isn't the exact rate of how the actual game plays. It's pretty close, but it's just enough to throw you off. So that's kind of the reason why I'm not doing Battletoads right now. I want to, and I will, because I said I would. So I'll do it. I'll sit through all the painstaking work of playing it, and I'll get it done eventually. But then another big thing was that I have been putting a lot of work into doing this lately. I was just so happy when I figured out how to do everything and how I could do it on the cheap that I started doing as many videos as I could. And a few weeks ago in my 100 subscribers video, I said that I was going to do this for as long as I possibly can. And to be honest with you guys, it's already starting to take its toll on me. From the perspective of I'm putting more work into doing this than I am my actual job work almost at this point. So I mean, not that I'm sitting here playing these games constantly for you guys. It's really not a lot of work, and it's a labor of love. It always has been. And I love getting the feedback from you guys. I love developing kind of a community. So many awesome people I've already met that are LPers that are doing the same kind of thing that I do, and it's so much fun. Speaking of fun, this bonus stage is really fun. Just hit the jump and attack buttons at the same time. Oh man, these are great times in the arcade. But anyhow, so because of that, some changes have to be made. And it was either going to be that I wasn't going to put out a video every day. It was going to be like an every other day kind of thing. Or I'm going to have to drop an LP, meaning that I'm only going to do like 2 LPs at once. And I like consistency, and I think that a lot of my viewers like consistency, and I think it's part of what makes a YouTube channel great, is when they know that, at a certain time, whether it be a weekly show or a daily show like mine is, that, it's gonna be there. So I don't want to do something that's every other day. It's gonna be every day still, definitely. And the only thing is, though, I'm going to be doing only 2 LPs. So after this, I figure this will be 3 parts, the Simpsons LP. After this, I'm going to stick only to Lufia and Pokemon, which is great because I think a lot of people really like Pokemon anyway. It's definitely my most popular LP, that's for sure, probably because it's been going on the longest as well. So we're going to stick with that, and then, that will probably take me up through the holidays, and then after that, we'll see where things go. I'll do something. It's funny because lots of LPers they do RPGs mostly, and then it's like, well, why don't you guys do platforming games a lot? And it's becoming very obvious to me why people don't play platformers that much is because it's levels. You have to go through levels and you have to go through worlds. With an RPG, you can do a big part of the story, and then you can level grind, and then you can get through the next part relatively easily as long as you kind of know what you're doing, as long as there aren't like any puzzles involved or anything like that. If it's just a matter of me going to a Pokemon gym and beating a gym leader, then it's pretty easy for me to do, obviously. But with platforming, it's all about skill, So those games actually, you put a little bit more work into those than you do an RPG, I would say. It's maybe not, maybe from some people's perspective you don't, but look over the bear. Whoa! And it's not the last time we'll see that bear, that's for sure. But anyhow, that's the state of my channel right now. So that's how things are going to be. Try the demands of an adequate social life and work life demand that I not play games as frequently. But I'm still going to give you guys. I'm going to try to get better doing my commentary. I'm still going to try to give you guys the best kind of quality videos as I can. I'm trying to do something about the sync issue with the audio. I tried putting audio in my last Pokemon video, and, I don't really care for, that's not the most amazing audio in the world anyway, but, man, I just was like, why is this so out of sync? There's nothing I've even done to it. I would understand if maybe I was, like, splitting the video into pieces, and the audio got out of sync that way, but, I wasn't even doing that, and just ended up out of sync for some reason, so I think the audio on this is going to be out of sync too, but just ignore that. Ignore that. I mean, it's just general hitting noises and some music in the background for when I'm not talking or when you just don't want to listen to me, which is totally cool. But I'd love to do some dual commentary with some people. I'm trying to get set up for that. And I definitely want to do some video game reviews in the future. I think that's going to be a big thing. Since I'm not going to be doing a third LP, try to do some actual video game reviews on games that you can't really LP that well. So I've got definitely a few ideas. A lot of games I've mentioned before in the past will definitely be played in a review style format. But anyhow, so we've beaten the second stage. I haven't even been talking about the Simpsons game, but I just decided to play this after I'd played the X-Men arcade, and just brought back a lot of really good memories for people. I mean, obviously this is a game that doesn't take a whole lot of skill, but it's definitely one of the best, arcade games to gather around. There's X-Men, which is an awesome 6-player style. I could have done the Ninja Turtles arcade, but I decided to do Turtles in Time just because that's an actual, Super Nintendo video game. Just something a little bit different, I suppose. There might be a couple more arcade games I play in the future, just to kind of give you. It will be something different though. It probably won't be something that everyone knows. Just something to give people a little taste of what other awesome arcade games are out there that maybe you haven't played. So, because arcades are such a dying breed, and it's a real shame. I love still going out to arcades when I can, and just playing games in their natural habitat, if you will. I love watching GameStar 81's arcade channel, where he just goes to different arcades throughout the country, and that's really fun, just to see what they've got. It's like you're there, you're part of it. So, and it gives you great ideas of places to go. If you're ever around that part of the country, go check out an awesome arcade. Same with a lot of old school video game shops, because we don't have the awesome shops anymore that sell older games. We don't have the Funkolands anymore or anything like that. If anyone even remembers Funkolands, you have to be about as old as I am to remember Funkolands. And you can go and you can get old school games there without any problem at all. Now it's all online, and it's kind of a shame because it's just fun to go to a store and not really know what you're looking for, and then find something really cool out of the blue that's just like, oh man, I never thought I would find this, and then you might get a really awesome deal on it too, which, bam, instant story right there. So these guys are kind of crazy. These jumping guys always remind me of Dhalsim from Street Fighter, with the way that they jump really slowly. I don't know why Dhalsim always jumps so slowly. I remember getting Street Fighter 2 because of Dhalsim, because he had those stretching limbs. I was like, oh man, I gotta have that game. The guy's got stretchy limbs. It's amazing. Oh, but in fact, it was not that amazing. He wasn't my favorite fighter for very long. I think I ended up playing with Chun-Li for a long time, and then after that I jumped on the Ryu bandwagon, and I just started getting really good with him, and he's been my Street Fighter guy for the past, I don't know, 15 years probably. So here's the, I don't know, semi-end to this level. It's a halfway point, if you will. You're through the graveyard, but you're not to the boss yet. But then you come across this really awesome platforming area, which reminds me of the elevator area in the Ninja Turtles game. But here it's really cool because you can hit these guys off the edge. And don't these guys look a lot like Mark Summers from Double Dare? And some other Nickelodeon shows back in like the early 90s. And I don't know why there's these fat old guys coming after me either. Like, what are they doing? You know, these guys have different colored shirts. That must mean they're super strong. But seriously, they look like freaking Mark Summers. It's so weird. They fight with umbrellas like the Penguin. Oh my gosh. Some sort of crazy Nickelodeon DC crossover. That would be great. Nickelodeon versus DC. You know, like Street Fighter versus X-Men or Marvel versus Capcom. That would be a pretty fun game. I gotta get better at these games too. I end up doing a lot of the same, making a lot of the same mistakes I made in the Ninja Turtles LP. So I'm trying to play more skillfully. When, dude, you just gotta remember these games are quarter eaters. The idea is you go in there, you hit the attack button as much as you can, as quickly as you can, and you just hope that you kill them before they kill you. And I don't know who these guys are. Maybe they're from a really early season of The Simpsons, because, you know, like most people, I've been watching The Simpsons for a good portion of my life, but I do not remember who in the hell these guys are, and I'm sure there are some enemies that they made up just for the game, like the guy in Moe's Bar, who's the boss in the next level after this. I think they just made him up for this game, unless he's in like 1 or 2 episodes of a really early season of Simpsons. But no, I mean, this came out in '92, so they definitely already had, you know, probably like 4 or 5 seasons, maybe even 6 under their belt already. So they definitely had a whole like cast of characters that they could have used. They just needed some more bad guys, perhaps. I mean, that actually does make a lot of sense, because obviously the boss is Mr. Burns, and he's the only like really bad guy, if you will, in any of the Simpsons you know, shows. And this little guy's kicking my ass here. Oh, man. But anyway, okay, he's dead. I'm running out of time. This has been the Johnny Cage. Subscribe, like, comment if you have not, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.